Hey, this is Tim's Take. On the House floor just now, Matt Gaetz admitted the big secret that a lot of Republicans don't want to acknowledge. Joe Biden has out-negotiated Speaker McCarthy and Republican leaders at every turn his entire presidency. Gaetz makes the point that it's hard to call Joe Biden feeble when he keeps taking Kevin McCarthy's lunch money. And, you hate to give credit to Matt Gaetz, but, it's hard to argue with that when you look at the track record. Let's watch Gaetz really quick.
To extend Joe Biden's spending and Joe Biden's policy priorities, the Speaker of the House gave away to Joe Biden the money for Ukraine that Joe Biden wanted. It is going to be difficult for my Republican friends to keep calling President Biden feeble while he continues to take Speaker McCarthy's lunch money in every negotiation.
Here's the thing. Gaetz is obviously saying this because he's trying to take Kevin McCarthy's speakership. But it's the kind of argument that wouldn't work if there wasn't a hint of truth to it. When it came to the debt ceiling deal, everybody was worried that Republicans were going to make us default. But eventually, Kevin McCarthy folded, and the Republicans basically went along with what Joe Biden and the Democrats have wanted to do to pay for our outstanding obligations. This same thing happened in the government shutdown. I'll admit it. I thought that the Republicans were going to shut down the government. I thought the only way for them not to was for Kevin McCarthy to fold again, and I didn't expect him to do it. And guess what? He folded again. The only thing that Republicans got out of this negotiation was not funding Ukraine, something that I'm really concerned about. But apparently, according to McCarthy, according to Biden, according to Gaetz even, there is a deal to fund Ukraine under a separate legislation. So we'll see if that happens. But McCarthy's folded to Biden and the Democrats on both of the budget negotiations. And then there's something that Joe Biden talked about in his interview with John Harwood over the weekend.
Look, when I got elected, remember everybody told me that we're never not going to anything bipartisan, not going to get it done. Well, we surprised some people. With a one-vote majority, we were able to get a number of things passed. And about half of it was bipartisan.
He exceeded everybody's expectations when it came to bipartisan legislation passed. A lot of Republicans, a lot of Democrats, a lot of pundits didn't think he could do it. They did it on the CHIPS Act. They did it extending gay marriage. They did it on infrastructure. They did it on the first gun reform bill in decades. So time and again, when it comes to the actual legislating, Joe Biden has delivered on his promise of being bipartisan. Joe Biden has outflanked Kevin McCarthy and the MAGA Republicans that have been trying to put sticks in the spokes of his legislation. And so, sure, from the performative aspect, from the speaking aspect, sometimes Joe Biden is showing his age. But when it comes to the legislative side of things, it's hard to argue with what Matt Gaetz said. You can't call this guy feeble when he keeps winning all these negotiations.